Hello, this is Rick Jarman again with Real Estate Investing. Used to say Made Real, but I think I'm changing the name of it. I'm going to call it Real Estate Investing Old School because it doesn't seem like any of these young folks want to do things the way us older folks used to do it. But you know, when things have tried and true and it's worked out, you might want to look at it. You know, we were all a lot younger one time too, and you know, a lot of these young investors, they don't think they got nothing to learn from us, but they are some. I get calls pretty regular of folks wanting to know if they can pick my brain. Of course, y'all look at me and tell I like to eat, and usually I tell them, I say, you know, you buy my lunch, I about tell you whatever you want to know. But anyway, today, what I was going to talk with you about is right before you get a house ready to rent. You know, you bought you a rental house and you've gotten it all fixed up and you're getting ready to rent it. Well, what I like to do is right before it's time for the people to move in, we go in, we take pictures of everything. We'll start at the mailbox and just work our way throughout the house, the outside, and then we have that record. We also have a form we have the tenant to fill out that if there's anything wrong, you know, 7 days, get it back to us. And, you know, if not, they're accepting it, the house is the shape it is, you know, that way they can't come back and say, well, this was broken when I moved in. But what I have found that when a tenant moves out, of course, they're gonna tell you, a lot of tenants, they're gonna tell you they left everything in good shape and they cleaned it. But you know, we go in, right when they turn the key in, we go right then, you know, or the next morning or whatever. But we go right then and we'll take pictures again. Start at the mailbox, go throughout the house. You know, I tell my guys if there's a hole in the wall, you know, hold your ruler up by it, you tape measure. And see how big a hole it is. If there's a broken window pane, whatever. Because it's just a lot easier when you've got these pictures. And today, you know, with our iPhones and everything like that, there's nothing to it. But many a time I've had people say, well, yeah, I left it clean. Well, let's see, let's look at, you know, back when we used to have to take and go get pictures at Walgreens or CVS or something, you know, we still did it. And it was a lot harder then than it is now that everything's, you know, digital. But you could sit there and look at them pictures and say, well, it doesn't look too clean to me. What about this? You know, what about that? So I found that really helps. And I tell you, one thing I did learn, I learned this the hard way. I had to go small claims court one time with one of my tenants. What it is in Alabama, the law used to be 30 days and now it's 60. When a tenant moves out, you got that many days before you have to return the security deposit or give them a list of the damages that were made, you know, had to be repaired and whatever, and a breakdown. Well, I had this tenant. They claim we didn't, you know, we didn't send it to them. Well, see, the way the law reads, if you don't give it back to them in that amount of time or a letter, you know, stating the repairs and how everything was, you have to pay double. Well, this particular person, their security deposit was $750. So they claiming I owe them $1,500. So we go small claim court and I get up there and I got my pictures and everything, and I'm showing them to the judge, and he says, well, Mr. Jarman, did you take these pictures? I said, well, no, sir. My foreman did, though. Non-admissible. And I'm thinking, well, dang, you know. So I learned one thing. If I don't take the pictures, whoever took them is going up there with me. But what I did, I ended up appealing it, and it cost me probably more than I'd have got, but it got to be the principal of it then, and then we won. And, you know, but you just, sometimes folks don't want to do you just right. So you got to cover yourself. But that iPhone for taking, you know, I use a Apple iPhone, you know, so that's what I'm talking about. But whatever you use, it's a handy tool for the rental business. You know, if you're out and about and there's a problem, you take a picture of it. If you see something riding by one of your houses and you need to make yourself a note, you know. But what we do also, you know, I done got to the point, and time in my life, I'm not gonna crawl under a house and look at something or whatever, but I'll be over there with my maintenance man, and maybe there's a problem on the house, and I give him to FaceTime me. He'll be shining it around on there, and I can tell them what they need to do. But we had a situation where we were getting some moisture under the house and whatever, and they can climb under there with that iPhone and shine it around, put it on FaceTime, or make a little movie of it, come back out, and we can figure out what's going on. I mean, things are so much easier now than it used to be if we just utilize them. But that's just one of the things I was thinking about. That saves us a lot of time and a lot of money by taking pictures before and after. Because, it's pretty, the old saying, a picture's worth 1,000 words. Well, you just can't beat it. It really helps you. And I recommend it highly. I sure do. And I like to also, when we lease a house to the people, you can kind of tell them about things, because a lot of times we have people that have never been homeowners. They just have rented houses, and they're not used to what they have to do maintenance-wise and whatever. So you show them about the thermostats. And, we used to do the same thing. We was building new houses. We'd show them about everything. We always would do a walkthrough on our new houses and show them what everything meant. But that's just like the other night. I think I've told y'all before that the way we work it, we have a 24-hour answering service, and I'm on call one week, my son's on call another. We have 100 plus houses, and so you think it'd be a lot of calls, but we don't get that many calls. But every now and then you get a call out. But one thing I've found, that if I've showed them a few things before they move in that house, when they call, I can say, you remember, say they've got a sink that won't cut off, and I can tell them, look, under the sink, there's a valve under there, you turn it to the right, and till it stops, and that'll cut the water off. And they keep you from having to dress it that night. I had one the other day, our hot water wouldn't turn off. Well, a lot of people don't know this, but there's a valve on top of your hot water heater, and that's the water coming into it. You cut that valve off, that stops the water coming in. So it stopped the hot water, from running in her tub. But now, if you do that, of course we're talking, if it's an electric water heater, you won't be sure and cut that breaker off. Because if that water level gets down below those elements, it could burn the elements up. But just little things, but if they understand a little bit how the house works, if they call and say they have a stopped up toilet, say, well, have you tried plunging? Well, no. Well, if we come out here tonight or call a plumber out, it's going to cost you. You may want to run down there to Dollar General, get you a plunger and try plunging it first. Save you some money. And it works good. But, you educate your tenants. You try to educate them all you can anyway. You'll have some tenants that are more prone to, treat the house like it's their own. Then you have some that's just, they'll live there a year or two, then they want to move somewhere else. And, I love to get at least 2 years. If I can get 2 years out of a person renting a house, then I can go in and paint it up and do whatever I need to do to get it ready to re-rent. Something else, I talked with y'all about how we do the ceramic tile, in the houses. Well, take you 4 or 5 pieces, stick them up in the attic. We used to do that with our new houses. That way, if they have a problem with some tile, it gets cracked or whatever, it's a lot easier to spend about $3 or $4 on some tile and have it in the attic. When you need it, it's trying to run all over town trying to match up some tile. So that's something good to do to help you with your tile and the maintenance on that. There's just little things like this will help you, as you get organized with your houses. And anyway, it's just all about trying to control the cost of maintenance, because the less you have to spend, keep your houses up. I tell my son all the time, we like to keep our houses up, but that's for the future too. You take care of them now, the money's still coming in down the road. So anyway, I hope this has been some help to you, and I hope you enjoy this and get something out of it. And until next week, we'll talk with you later. Y'all have a good night. Thanks.